could probably just soundbite that comment. She left with 450k. Let's go. That's crazy. Good for her. I've watched her chess stream sometimes. I used to play chess like as a kid, like everybody else, right? I try to get back into it, but I watch her stream sometimes. I watch her sister stream. I watch some of the other chess streamers, and I just like the learning curve is so high. It'd be really hard to get back into it. I've watched Kroxa play some chess too. I've watched Kroxa play some chess. I actually feel like every time I see that Kroxa is playing chess, which isn't that often, I don't know. I feel like I'm more likely to click on it. Yeah, if you post in the chat, I'll take a look, Destructo. Yeah, the learning curve, the barrier to entry in chess is so high. But it's probably really rewarding. No, I haven't watched Chess Network. No, I used to play like a lot as a kid. Like my dad would like take me to chess tournaments, and I actually like won some of them as a kid. Like obviously just like local kid chess tournaments, but like I was like okay like as a kid, but just like every other kid, as soon as anything gets, or when I was a kid, as soon as something got hard, I would just give up. But I really regret not sticking to it. I feel like I could have had more good times with the game. Yeah, I was able to also watch the Queen's Gambit from start to finish. It was another big part of my life. You know what card we haven't cast today is Temur Battle Rage. There's a matchup for it. It's this one. Spike, if you like chess, you might enjoy the Queen's Gambit. Yeah, I've actually seen that one from start to finish. I feel like I don't know. Yeah, for those who that's my Twitch bio. For those who don't know, I've seen the Queen's Gambit from start to finish, and I don't really remember the origins anymore. I guess I liked the show and I kept talking about it on stream, and then I turned that to my Twitch bio, and I think the longer it stays there, the funnier it is. No, Gentribe, no. Like, one, you want all your lands people to be damage-based in your shadow deck, and you really can't afford to have tap lands early. Not really breaking the wheel here. Just don't want your triumphs in these kind of decks. Yeah, Queen's Gambit was definitely very good. I really liked it. I kind of hope they don't make a season 2 though. I thought it was like had like a really good start to finish storyline. I kind of feel like if they made like a second season, they'd be milking it a little bit. But I'll also watch it. So I'll keep this on top. I want to try to find Delirium off the channeler, but now that I'm not doing that, I'll just hit the heap. Okay, we are casting Temur Battle Rage today, huh? Never played any sports. I used to play basketball in high school. We actually talked about this recently, but yeah, I used to play like a decent amount of basketball. And I played like a lot of racquetball, like recreationally with friends. And I feel like in my life at some points I've felt like I've been a solid player of both games. Any reason to charm in your instep when they were tapped out? You could do that, yeah. But I kind of wanted to bait them into attacking so I could try to find Delirium and block. How tall am I? Everybody that's commented on my height when I meet them in person at like a Magic tournament has said that I am taller than they expect me to be. Like without fail, they say, "Wow, you're a lot taller than I thought." So. However, I'm taller than you think I am, probably, is the answer. However, if you think I'm 6'2", I'm actually taller. If you think I'm 6'5", I'm taller. If you think I'm 4'1", I'm taller. If you think I'm 7 foot, I'm taller. So I'm just taller, no matter what. I think it's the camera angle. It's like slightly pointed down. Okay, so they get to Rattle Chains, save this. But I think they're dead if I find Delirium, right? Still not finding Delirium. 11 cards in the graveyard. But we're not dead to a Lord. They go to 1. Oh, they go to 0. Okay, they're just dead the whole time. Is Orb good? Orb is probably okay. Let's put 1. Long years, the 5 months, they continue. Yeah, weird that they didn't, like, not die there when they could have. I guess they knew about the exiled Unholy Heat. Log years, 5 months. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish that John Midrange was playable and modern. Yeah, subs Skyclave, subs Mausoleum Wanderer's ability, subs Spell Queller. I think it's like just relevant enough to play 1. Was there ever consideration for push over bolt? I mean, obviously, like, you can sit down at your big Jund Shadow Discord table and just sit there for hours and debate the merits of Fatal Push versus Unholy Heat versus Lightning Bolt for hours and hours and hours. You can talk about this. I typically like bolt a bit more than push in Shadow decks, so I often find myself bolting myself. I strongly considered a 3-3 split, but I do think a Heat is still, like, the most powerful of the 3, and I kind of wanted to play that one. But yeah, you could sit down in your Jund Shadow Discord and talk about the 1-mana removal spells all night, all until the wee hours, until you end up just kind of playing this split anyways. Spike here is my 200-page dissertation on Fatal Push in Jund Shadow. Please read it on stream. Don't skip anything. The Jund Cabal. I think you could swap Heat out from a DRC Bauble. Yeah, I agree. If you don't play DRC Bauble, I don't think you want to play Heat. As a Texan, I've actually seen a Tumbleweed before. Yeah, of course. Open the window, and I'm just trying to close it fast, or open the door and try to close it fast enough to not get got by the tumbleweeds. I think I'm casting Ragavan on 1. Before Spike had Athena, he had a pet tumbleweed. No, I don't know that I haven't seen one like in maybe my city. I have seen, I've seen them on like road trips. I've seen them in the rural areas of the country. Taking this cocoa. And the rural areas of this country. Would Shade Lightning be too good at modern? I don't know. I think most people's definition of like too good is like, does this card like literally break the format in half? I think Chain Lightning would be. I think it would be an unhealthy addition. We're 1 type shy of Delirium. I think you Destructo. I'm gonna attack. I think there's a good chance my opponent just doesn't block, and if they do, it's not the end of the world. I guess one kind of cute line would be kill my own Death Shadow. Kill my own Death Shadow. And then I can have Delirium to get the Ragavan through. I think I'm just kind of content to play Shadow and put Jegantha into my hand. Obviously I threw away the Ragavan, but I kind of thought they wouldn't block. Jund Shadow, okay. So one thing I found playing these decks is that I don't think you should play Street Wraith and Mishra's Bauble. I think that when you play both of these 2 cards together, you're going to get mana flooded, mana screwed a lot. Has been my experience so far playing both. You can play both. Like if you're playing Channeler and playing Shadow, it's probably correct. That being said, I think Shadow is really bad. I think Shadow of Morality is not playable. 24 threats is way too many. I think you're like too light on interaction. Maybe you're not actually. 17 lands, threats, interaction, cantrips. That's only 20 creatures. That's right. Still, like the fact that this card is only castable once you get down to 7 life means that you're basically never casting this card on turn 2. This is my big issue with this card. It's like it's basically never castable turn 2. Very rarely is it coming down turn 3. Sometimes turn 3, but this is usually going to be a turn 4 play. And the fact that this is a threat in your shadow deck that doesn't usually come down to turn 4, I think makes it not playable. Okay, so if I shock, I'm attacking for 8, and I don't have lethal over the course of 2 turns, so I think I should just attack for 6. Like that's my big issue with this card. It's like you're very rarely going to cast it on turn 3. You are going to cast it on turn 3 sometimes, but it's mostly going to be a turn 4 threat. And threats in these shadow decks that can only be cast on turn 4 again just ain't it. Just ain't it. So that's my opinion on, and I think like once you start to scrap the shadow, like then like you just play the deck I'm playing now. But if you were gonna build around shadow, if you want to play this deck, I think you've done a great job building the main deck. I really not a big fan of Leyland of Sanctity in these decks. I think that they're not super useful sideboard slots there. I think Magus is important to beat. Titan, although maybe this version's more aggressive, it can beat it anyways. And Alpine Moon is a more versatile sideboard card for sure. I'd split like maybe one Chalice, one Void Mirror too, but pretty good list. Like if you want to build around Shadow of Mortality, I just don't think the card's good. Okay, let's attack with Ragavan. Oh, sorry, Shadow. Terminate wasn't necessary with Charms in the main. Yeah, so here was kind of like my I had a lot of circular logic here where I was like, I did the same thing where I'm like, okay, I don't want to have Terminates because I have Charms. And then I'm like, well, I still want some more removal against the Ragavan decks and against Hammer Time. So I was like, I'll play some Fatal Pushes. And then I'm like, well, these Fatal Pushes can just be Terminates. And then I've got extra game against Titan and I have extra game against Murktide without losing like much equity anywhere. And so like that's kind of like how that's where I circled back. Discard another Drogso Captain. So that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I will also say that, especially in a new deck like this, it's pretty easy to overthink the sideboard. It just takes a little bit of time to hammer it out. I do want to make some changes going forward. So if they drew a Lord, we're dead. I don't think we're dead to anything else. I guess removal spell, obviously. Yeah, Skyclave. They don't seem to have it. They drew a land for turn, so now they're in chump block mode. We should be doing pretty good. So I can escape Kroxa, put my opponent to 2, and then if I attack with everything, they get to eat one of my 2 power creatures and trade with another, which I think is correct. Just leave them with 1 creature. I've got Kroxa Shadow in play. Magara, thank you for Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Is Shadow of Mortality better than Scourge? Probably not. I mean, Scourge is like castable on turn 2 a lot of the time. Turn 3 almost all the time. It's final of the week, so I was able to catch the stream and stuff. Awesome. Yeah, Esther's got finals this week too. Esther is unbelievable. Like, I don't know how she's always been super duper hardworking, but she is not only like working a full-time job at a corporate office right now, but she's also like helping us. You know, she's getting the house done stuff too with me, and she's also finishing her master's degree like this week. She has got finals this week. She is an absolute machine, and I'm very, very proud of her. And she's like never in her life had like any free time. And so she's finally like going to be moved into a house and be done with school. She's going to have a lot of free time. We're very excited for her. It is crazy how hard she works. And I talk about this a lot, but she's really like made me a harder worker too. So when do I see her? Yeah, me and Esther spend not as much time together as we'd like. I mean, you know, we make time for each other. We make time. We get meals. We spend some time watching some shows at the end of the night. We make time. Yeah, well, I'll take her for a nice vacation once the coffers get replenished a bit after the house buy-in. What's your degree in? Marketing research. Yeah, we finally casted Team of Outer Rage last game. Okay, so Spear. Pretty worried about Eidolon with this hand. Could be good to Thoughtseize this turn and then go Channeler Heat the Swift Spear next turn. Not lose to Eidolon. I could be playing a little bit too scared, and here it seems like I got pretty punished. I will take the Searing Blaze though. How do you think his deck compares to Grixis Shadow? Also, why no Ren in this list over Team of Battle Rage? I mean, Ren and 6 just, like, I think sucks in Jund Shadow. Like, you can play, like, a copy or two, but, like, you don't want to play Channel lands with your Shadow. You don't want to play any really, like, you know, utility lands that are good with Ren with Shadow besides fetch lands. And your curve is really low, too. So, like, yeah, Ren and 6, I've really always felt like is not a good inclusion in this shell. Team of Battle Rage kills your opponents really quickly, which is a pretty important thing to do in this deck. So my opponent's hand is a Rift Bolt and a Mystery card. I'm going to play the Ragavan because this can maybe find me a Helix to win the game. Suspends Rift Bolts. Come on, get those Lightning Helix emotes ready. Bummer. Okay, I mean, if they don't have a burn spell in their hand, nor on the top of their library. Could be live here. Not live here. But yeah, basically every time I tell somebody I'm a professional Twitch streamer, it's always like, everybody thinks it's not going well. They look at you like, oh, that's great. That's great. You're pursuing your dreams. So that happened to you too, Hitachi? I say I work in production. Yeah, I haven't figured out what I should say. And then I'm like, well, have you ever heard of Magic the Gathering? I used to like be a paper grinder, and then I write for a website. It's called Channel Fireball. It's just all sad. I could say I'm a content creator. I mean, it's just no matter what you say. Dude, my opponent's hand is nuts. What the heck? They're supposed to take the path. I think I have to take the Sanctifier. How good is Red Black Sack? We were 9-1 with it. I don't know how good it is though, to be honest. Okay, let's think about this. So play Goblin Guide Swift Spear next turn. They're attacking me for 4. 13. I think I'll heat the guide. Maybe I'll heat a Swift Spear. It's close. Hey Evan, how's it going? Someone not much to do business owner rider, but that's also the thing. Like, oh, I gotta puff out my chest and make sure they know that the stream is going well. It just doesn't matter that much. It doesn't matter that much. So they have Path to Exile, so I'm maybe not in a huge rush to play the Shadow. In fact, there's a chance I can get them to Path my Ragavan next turn. Maybe I'll find a Helix off the Ragavan. No, not that lucky. Deck Tech for Margaret. If you want to link in chat, I'll take a look. Objects with Skelemental, Thunderkin Awakener. I don't know. It seems really win more because you have to have Thunderkin Awakener plus Skelemental. Because otherwise you're spending 6 mana to Skelemental and Ob in the same turn. That's just never happening. Brutal. This last card is Lightning Bolts. Okay, well, one is not 0. So that last card is Path to Exile. Dude, the draw is very good. Terminate. So if I go cast Ragavan, cast Shadow, they path my Shadow, I chump block with Ragavan, Terminate. I feel like that doesn't put me in a good enough position to win. I'm going to dash, try to find a Helix or a Searing Blaze, or I guess it has to be, or it has to be like a Bolt or Skewer or Helix. Bolt, Skewer, Helix, Path. Not Eidolon. Not Eidolon. just watch, yeah, watch the Spiring Spike for a living. Rough stuff. I think it's Bob, who just top 8'd the challenge with Calibrated Blast, and I think that turn 1 Inquisition, likely turn 2 Goyf is probably good enough. Aren't there 2 Kroxas already? No, we're talking about this deck. Oh, there are 2 Kroxas. I totally missed them. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I totally missed them. I don't know. I think I would identify which is better. Liliana the Death Majesty, Blood for Bones. Play 3 of one of them. Play the 4th Lord Xander. And then, like, very likely mulligan somewhat aggressively to your combo. Yeah. Playing against Calibrated Blast. Thoughtseize on top. Not too bad, hopefully. There's the Calibrated Blast. Mana is pretty awkward this game. Drawing Mishra's Factory pretty far away from Shadow of Mortality or Scion of Draco. I kind of a lot of loose thoughts. I do think this deck's good. That's kind of the direction I would go. Is Graveyard is a werewolf, right? Oh, Bond of Renewal, dude. Bond of Renewal seems better than Liliana and Blood for Bones. Like, giving Lord Xander haste is really relevant, right? I guess how good is the mill? I think it's probably good enough. I think it seems relevant enough that I'm pretty interested in trying Bonds of Revival, like 3 of those. Like I'm excited about it even. Okay. I could get a basic land here. I could just get a basic swamp. Oh, so I need to get green to cast Tarmogoyf. Never mind then. But my opponent's hand is pretty dead at the moment. They're drawing Emrakul for turn. Play the Sun-Scorched Desert. Their hand is it's 2 Scion of Draco, Shadow of Mortality, Boseiju, Emrakul, right? So let me go. If I Thoughtseize my opponent's Emrakul, it shuffles their Calibrated Blast away, which is kind of interesting. So if I'm gonna do that, I should probably just attack first. And then I'll just be resigned to being dead to 1 Calibrated Blast resolving. But they need to draw both red mana and a blast. Do that next turn. Well, I have the mana for it this turn. See if they drew a blast for turn. We'll be able to discard it with them not having red mana. They did. And so now I need to exile their graveyard with my charm. Up again. So Void Mirror stops them from cascading into it with their 4-drop. It's probably a bit narrow. Terminate kills both their shadows and their scions. Better removal spell than Unholy Heat, which only hits their Scion of Draco, and even not that well. Oh yeah, flashback's red. That's right. Why didn't Exile Blast? It has flashback, but I guess we didn't need to do it that quickly, right? Charm also kills their creatures. I think that just 2 Terminates, 2 Bolts is probably plenty. Let's go for this. Isn't Void Mirror half their hits? It is not, because like they cascade into Calibrated Blast, but then Calibrated Blast goes to the yard, they just flash it back. And they only play 2 of the Cascade cards anyways. Okay, let's keep this. I think I'm either putting back Shadow or Charm. Back the Charm on this 1-lander. Roll to 5. Why do they run so many colorless lands? Their deck is mostly lands. Their deck is like All lands, Calibrated Blast, and like a couple of expensive spells. Or no, sorry, not a couple, like 16 expensive spells. So like they, in theory, they just have enough lands that they can afford to. They can afford to have so many in play. Crime Punishment, okay. Isn't Shadow great in this matchup? You one-shot them if they Calibrated Blast you. Well, the awkward thing with Shadow is like, if you're going to cast Death Shadow, you are in range to die to Calibrated Blast. So it's actually really tough for you to be in a position where you can do that. Although here, I think it is interesting to just get a basic Swamp, and so if they do Calibrated Blast me, I can then cast the Shadow and kill them. But it's hard to have Shadow in play first, is what I'm saying. Didn't fetch a Triumph. It's kind of interesting. Oh, could have blocked with Factory. It's true, but doesn't play around a removal spell very well. I think you like never block there. Who's tanking? Bob is a really good player. Likes to really think out lines. Probably like one of the textbook definitions of a calculating player. Let's go ahead and cast the Inquisition pre-combat. Could get Delirium potentially. Could force them to Cascade. They don't have the Cascader in their hand. It's good to know about. We get to attack our opponent for 7, and the next turn we can attack them for 11, which is 18, which is lethal after they crack their foothills. So we should be in okay position. Although Archon, not Archon, Autochron Worm costs 16 mana, right? So like, wait, does the worm cost 16 or 15? I can't remember. Yeah, I know they have throws in hand, but they cast throws and they can deal me 15. It's 15. It's just Draco that's 16, and that card's not legal in Modern, right? Is Draco's the only 16 mana spell, or is there another one? Oh, there's another 16 drop in Magic. It's only 16. Yeah, I guess I can double check real quick. So we just go reset filters, mana value. It's kind of funny that there's even room for 20 plus. Yeah, just Draco. Only 16 drop in Magic. Did the Sunsquirt die? That's true. That's true. Draw a Sign of Draco for turn. So they block. I'm trampling over for 2. I have to kill the Draco. I'm dead to the blast. I also keep this on top so I can double creature next turn. Oh yeah, no attack with Factory is like... Isn't Temur Battle Rage and Goy lethal? No? Was it? Was it? Oh yeah, I missed that. I missed that I didn't have the instant. Yep. Sorry. I thought I had the instant. So I guess this turn Bob is probably going to just hit me with Factory and then try to kill me with Throes of Chaos next turn. Yeah, sorry. I forgot. I didn't realize TBR grew the Goyf. Although they do have, a decent number of misses. Guess you also have the option to Shokazan. Yeah, I think Bob thinks we have a removal spell because we attacked. Yeah, I think Bob thinks we have a removal spell because we attacked with a creature into the Factory on turn 2. And then Crime Punishments can kill my Channeler's Shadow. And then they can attack me for 1. Oh my gosh. Dude. Not so embarrassing to do that. So embarrassing. Oh my gosh. I mean, I can't cast the Thoughtseize. I probably cast the Goyf this turn. Oh, wait, actually, yeah, no, wait, the turn should be like exactly. I should still cast the Channeler because it's flying. No, the turn ends up like the turn is still just cast Channeler, don't cast Thoughtseize. But embarrassing to cast it. Wow, it doesn't attack. At least I saw that they were at 3, huh? Ugh, so embarrassing. Got there. Better lucky than good. Worse than Temur Battle Rage most of the time. Okay, no black man, I got a mulligan. Oh, you got SCG Pit? That's awesome, that's awesome. How was that? Okay, let's keep this. I'm on a mulligan on the draw. I kind of want to keep the charm. Could put back the Bauble. Put back the Bauble. Oh yeah, that's right. The Dragon's Fires got bugged. I forgot about that. Yeah, that makes it a lot worse. The deck a lot worse. Maybe just play Lava Coil till they fix the bug. One mana, first strike menace. It's a treasure dog? What the hell? This card's awesome. Ugh, good hand. It's a treasure dog? I've never seen this card. Yeah, all dogs are treasure dogs, though. But definitely firmly in the Obnixilis Broken camp. Alright, we got 2 mana. We have Death Shadow. We should probably cast our Shadow, right? If last game was any kind of indication for how I'm gonna play going forward. We can exile the graveyard next turn and get both their Kroxas. That's pretty good. Probably getting them to discard a land here. They discard the Canyon. I think this deck compares to my red block list. I don't know. It's just too early to tell. Okay. Dude, I'm getting so many scam calls today. It's crazy. I think I need to main phase exile their graveyard so they can't play non-fetch lands into Escape Kroxa. Yeah, my opponent's trying to Skelemental into Ob. Dude, push your Stitcher Supplier. Let's go. Brick on the Skelemental. Love that line, though. Love that line. 6 mana. Yeah, I really think that Ob plus Skelemental is like not like a great not a great plan to be on, but it seems cool. Like, you know, no hate, of course. Is Ob going down to 5? Is Ob next to Spade and Grist and Sackless? The Green and Splash not worth it anymore. I was 9-0, 9-1 with red black sack featuring Ob. But it just takes time to figure out what the best build is. Just too early to say definitively one way or another. I guess I hold this to beat a Skelemental. It's kind of tough because I think I'm losing to. Okay, cool. So now I just attack, and my opponent, if they don't chump, they die. They do chump. Okay. So we'll just play this tapped, be able to beat a Skelemental, and escape this next turn likely for lethal. Dang it. No. Kroxa is still pretty good. Black, black, Red, red. I do have to trade with a... I have to trade with a Skelemental if they draw it, but that's fine, I guess. What do you think that? Do you think the better mana from red black is better than what Jund Sack offers? The better mana is a nice asset. A lower curve is a nice asset too. The 1 mana 1/1 that when it dies you exile the top 2 cards of your library. That card is also really good, I think. That card is that card felt better than Ob. That card was like it was huge for me. Unlucky Witness. But again, it's just kind of early to tell. Like Coco, Unearth were both like very, Coco was a very important card in the other version. Grist was very good. Just take some time to figure out the best version. And I forgot about Companion. I says tweeted you this last couple days. I didn't see that. They got a trophy with this deck though. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't understand the Treasure Dog that much, but I mean, boy, is that card cool. Yeah, and so like the point I made earlier too about like evaluating specifically Reanimator decks, I think that kind of also applies here, where I think I'm gonna go down to Ragavan. I think Kroxa is just so resilient. I probably need to keep the Kroxas, but 2 Ragavan, 2 Thoughtseize. But like I ran super hot on Friday to go 13-2 with Ob Nixilis in my deck. I think that not only did I run really hot, I had a lot of opponents like misplay and stumble. And that's not me saying that the red, like, I think a lot of people just like, they always want to hear, is this deck broken? Is this deck good? Is it like near tier 1? But in my experience, like you can't know until you play like 50 matches if you've like built a good deck. And like obviously you can infer and you can try to feel things out and you can speculate, and that's what we do here. We try to work on it and try to find the good decks, but it just takes some time, and maybe that makes me a bad content creator, but maybe it makes me a good deck builder. Kind of a slow hand on the draw. I think it's okay to keep. I think I'm not shocking here. Yeah, we definitely had a lot of opponents misplay into the Ob, which happens whenever you play any new card. Like it is actually like, I think, a significant advantage to be playing with cards your opponents have never played against before. Which is, the Brewer's advantage is real. Like your opponents, like if they've never played against your deck before, they're going to make mistakes, so they're way more likely to make mistakes than if they've played this, than against a matchup they've played 1,000 times before. Oh, I forgot to cast the Shadow. Well, I will say, Jegantha makes you a lot better against Blood Moon. Yeah, Shadow's gonna get a bit harder to cast, yeah. Dude, people love this card. Isn't there like a better... There was, in the recent set, there was a really good way to interact with enchantments in mono black. What was the name of that card? It was, I think it was a sorcery. Black. Type. Sorcery. Yeah, Extract the Truth. Yeah, this is either an edict for sorceries or a conditional Thoughtseize for 2 mana, but it doesn't get leyline, so that's kind of awkward. Oh, was I supposed to just cast Jegantha? Maybe I got blinded by the Ragavan. I think it's okay to cast Ragavan, though. Exile your own graveyard as the as the graveyard focus deck. Rough to have to do. Rakdos Charm, exile your own graveyard. Sad, sad, sad. Yeah. Feed the Swarm targeting is more relevant. I agree. Okay, well here I can cast the Jegantha post combat. Hopefully. Been a weird game. Don't think I'm gonna waste my time casting Village Rites. I guess you probably just like Soul Guy Lantern. Maybe. That'd be put us one short of lethal though, so I think it's better to cast this. Wait, is Skelemental double black or red black? I thought it was red black. But it says 2 more lands in my hand. GG's. Okay, we're 3-1. I've been liking this deck a lot today, to be honest. Let's get a prediction going. Pretty fast second league, too. Can't promise anything. If I have the draw, I'll put back Blood Crypt. It's kind of close. Topaz, 20 months. Loving the new SNC brews. Thank you. Glad you're liking them. Okay, I think we're going to lead on a Heat here. Although, I guess I would really like to get hit by the Channeler. Yeah, I'd really like the Channeler to hit me a couple times, because my shadows are kind of hard to deploy here. I feel like the Murktide matchup is probably pretty good. The Charm gives you a lot of answers to Murktide. Shadows historically very strong in this matchup. Not a great draw. So if I respond to Consider with Unholy Heat, they simply consider number 2, Bauble, and fetch. So I think we don't really have that luxury. But they keep a card on top with the Consider. Then they Bauble themselves. Don't like that card. Shuffle, Delirium turned on. Right, Death Shadow turned on. They died a Lightning Bolt, which is kind of a problem. Draw a fetch land, they don't. I think it's better to play Goyf Shadow here. It's kind of close.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Put Bauble in their yard. Training Grounds with the 100 bits. Thank you. Iteration pre-combat. Yeah, I've never seen Grim Wanderer before. 5/3 flash for 2 mana, but cast it only if a creature died this turn. Consideration for Traverse. I've played Traverse in this deck in the past. I've been kind of underwhelmed by it. It's kind of slow. You have like a really good density of threats. Wow, this card is probably great in limited. Okay. I think I shock. Go down to 5. Okay, well I'm dead to a Lightning Bolt if I do that, actually. I have to attack for 8 down to 11, then these grow down to 9/9s. Give me an error, try again. Yeah, I've never seen that before, top positivity. It's probably an issue with like your payment, if anything. If I had to guess. I guess I should actually shock, so they can't heat me. The game really turned around if my opponent stumbled really hard on this iteration. Grim Wanderer was fine, but not great in limited. Okay, good to know. Yeah, what was that Adventures in Forgotten Realms limited format like? I never got the chance to draft any. I've played very little limited the last couple of years because I've been so focused on constructed for the stream, but I do really like I do really like diving into new limited sets. It's very aggressive. It's bad. The worst. Well, guess I didn't miss too much then, huh? Guess I didn't miss too much. Yeah, I did do Streets pre-release. I did the Brokers. And I went 3-0. I actually did a little recap for Channel Fireball for it. If I qualify the PT, how am I going to practice for limited? In the past, how I've practiced is I just my first ever PT. I did 100 drafts of limited in the week and a half. And the week and a half that it was available at Magic Online before the PT, literally 100. I kind of set it as an arbitrary number. It was maybe I should have gone for a little less. But I will likely be testing on Magic Online. We'll see. Okay, Dead Polluted Delta on their top. Why did the Magus for Blood Moon? Magus dodges Beseiju, which the Titan decks play a lot of copies of. Eight Murktide Regent and a Dragon Rage's Channeler. Shoots. No help from the top. I guess we're dead. Right, we're dead. Tough stuff. Good game 2. Oh. Yeah, very swingy game. Very swingy game. They drew Polluted Delta that turn too. It's gonna cut. Well, I guess I think I'll play 2 Inquisition, 4 Thoughtseize, 2 Terminate, 1 TBR. No Void Mirror, no Lantern. Let's do this. What Obnix list do you recommend if I got any? I was 13-2 with Ob on Friday. I was 4-1 with Mardu Smallpox, and then 9-1 with this red-black sacrifice list. They're both in the stream decker, Chief. Cast Thoughtseize to go Shadow, swing with both. No, that doesn't work. They just block Murktide on Ragavan, Channeler on Shadow, and I lose. It's a very easy block. Oh. But I can. Oh, I didn't have Channeler in play. Sorry, I was thinking I could surveil the top card away. Channeler was on top, not in play. Misreading the combat. Yeah, Dungeon Descent was a pretty bad. I feel like they played so scared with venture into the dungeon. It's like kind of crazy how scared they played with it. I just think for the 8 months. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Consider on top. Not sure which is better to use here, Heat or Bolts. I know that we've got 2 Heats, so it's probably Heat. But I could see this coming back to bite me if I need to like double Heat a Murktide. We can keep a Mire on top too, so we can cast Shadow next turn potentially. Deck's been feeling pretty good today, Torpor Orb. I've been liking it. But Murktide chumps if you Thoughtseize. No. They chump the Shadow with their Channeler. They don't ever block the Shadow with Murktide, and they kill me with the Murktide next turn. So I think I will cast Shadow into a counterspell, and then maybe try to resolve Goyf. I'm at 12 life this time. Okay, they really clearly have a counterspell. I think if they're gonna think that long, I'll just like not cast the Goyf into the counterspell then. I'm gonna be playing 3 bolts, 3 heats. Bolts felt really good today. Probably graveyard that. Classic bolts yourself. Pre-combat to try to find Delirium. Yeah, that was maybe better. Have I tried Esperian with Tilted in Dungeons? I haven't. It's kind of low on my list, right? I'm not like really that excited about it, especially because like as far as Esper Reanimator goes with Tainted Indulgence, like the fact that Indulgence is an instant matters not that much. Like it's not going to be that much better than Charter Cores. It is going to be better, but like you don't have that much to do at instant speed. You're not like holding up counter spells and stuff. So attack for 5. They might take 5 here. They do take 5. I do really think they have counter spells. So if I play Goyf this turn, if I play Goyf here, they're going to counter it, untap, sack explosives. So it's probably better to cast Riveteers Charm in my instep after they sack this. Get the Surveil off too. I think I want 1 land, but if I find a second land in this pile, it's pretty bad. We've got like 3 more looks. I'll just graveyard that. Okay, not too bad. 4 cards in their hand. Yeah, Charm has been really good. I'm a huge fan of this card. Very powerful, very versatile. It's everything Kolagon's Command has always wanted to be. But it's really making me work for this one. Really making me work for it. Go to War on top. Alright, Iteration. Still making me work for it. 4 not a little clunky. I really like 4. In this build, especially with them just being the top of the curve, I really like 4. Plays Otawara as a land. Okay. Wasn't expecting them to do that. Yeah, these matchups are always really fun. They're like just like, this is magic right here, baby. John versus blue-red versus blue-white, or blue-white still like Stoneblade. They do have, so they played their land here, so it kind of seems like they have Spell Pierce, right? Not that I can really play around it. Black, red, green. Awesome. Die, Murktide. Thoughtseize into Double Heat. I guess that plays around it, yeah. Is Charm better than Iteration? I guess that's maybe the big question, right? I think you could possibly splash this card in Grixis Shadow without too much trouble, too. I don't know if you want to play Charm and Iteration. They countered my Thoughtseize. They must have, like, Murktide or Iteration, right? So if they have Murktide, it's just a 5/5 here. I still think I just want to play the Goyf, though. I mean, Iteration is like maybe the is like a top 5 card in Modern, maybe not quite that high, but you know, worse than Iteration is maybe not that bad a review of a card. Okay, so they have 2 more spells in the yard. Now a potential Murktide would be a 7/7, but I guess I can double heat if they find it. Best use case for Wardren is to clear Kappa Cannoneer. Yeah, I guess they can like Force of Will your Council's Judgments. Maybe Void Rend is better. Two cards in my opponent's hand. This has been a hard game to fight. I really don't want to die to a Channeler attack plus a Lightning Bolt, so I'm going to just try to fight over this. If my opponent has nothing, obviously I can still dash Ragavan, bolt them off the treasure. I wonder if they're supposed to steal and chump block the Goyf instead of taking 5. Could be wrong. Still have 2 cards in their hand somehow. This has been like, I feel like if I didn't, this game came down to like charming, draw 3 of my instep. I think if I didn't take exactly that line, I was so toast. Okay, I only have 1 more lightning bolt in my deck, but if they have, no, I don't have, no more bolts in the deck. Okay, they just exile a Stomping Ground, 2 cards left in their hand. Wouldn't you just not attack and get your rag back? I mean, yeah, that's true. But like, it's like it gains them the life there. I'm not sure how important like stopping my Ragavan is this game. Maybe it is important. What a game! What a game! Now I have to play game 3. Yikes. I think on the draw I'll probably play the 3rd Inquisition over the TBR. Is Black Green Rocketeer see Bauble instead of Ragavan a sensible way to get into Modern? Probably yeah. Probably yeah. There are worse ways to get into Modern. Like like playing Kolagon's command in your deck. Spike, please. Just kidding. You should probably play Kolagon's command in that deck actually. Okay, we're gonna get Overgrown Tomb. Can maybe get basic Swamp. It'd just be a little bit better if they went into Blood Moon for game 3 on the play, which they might have. I don't really need double green. Yeah, I mean it's kind of awkward with the shadow, but I think that's fine. Do you have a good sense of how I would like to play Ob and Pioneer? So yeah, I'm gonna play in the red black Anvil deck first, but maybe not with Anvil. But in that shell, and I've got I want to play the zombie that when it dies you can make a treasure. And I think I might want to play. I might also want to try to play Unlucky Witness and just maybe move away from the artifact synergies in that deck and move a little bit more towards the just like general sacrifice themes. So they probably counterspell this so they can cast the Murktide. But they can't cast it next turn. I guess if they have a fetch land, they can go. They can. Oh, or that. Damn it. Yeah, you could maybe play Tenacious Underdog too. That's not a card I dislike. So then there's Bauble, Murktide, Regent, Explosives. I guess they still need to land to Murktide this turn. So I've been trying to keep College of Familiar Anvil, cut some other artifacts. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a lot of time with it. It's definitely a priority to work on that deck for me. Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna bubble them. I'm definitely, now that I've drawn Heat, just gonna pass with mana up. And we can Heat the Murktide, assuming they don't draw another spell. Charm would be a good draw too. Oh man, let's go! I might use this to kill the Murktide. Might also just draw 3 at a turn. I promise. Yeah, I think losing Shrapnel Blast is a problem, but I do think Ob kind of occupies a lot of the same space Shrapnel Blast does. It's all an interesting puzzle to figure out. I'll be spending a lot of time on it. Especially because I really feel like the Anvil decks are like, you know, like that's the kind of deck I think I'd really like to take to a PTQ. Oh, we can just, yeah, we can, if this Thoughtseize resolves, we get to cast Shadow and the Tarmogoyf. Could you, yeah, the other option was to just Jegantha, which is why I was talking about the decision to hold up Unholy Heat in the first place. But I think this line was better. Counterspell, Channeler, Explosives. I mean, I'm just definitely taking the counterspell here. They should have countered the Thoughtseize because now I can cast the Goyf, or the Shadow. I still don't think I ever need double green this game. I think triple red is more relevant, to be honest. Yeah, the charm is so good. It's so good. So versatile. Kind of feels like, it almost feels like exactly what this deck needed, to be honest. They need to Murktide here, yeah. 7/7 Murktide out of Unholy Heat range. Goyf's still 5/6. We're just gonna kill it, play a second Tarmogoyf, attack for 6, be really ahead on board. Their explosive's gonna be too slow to kill my Goyfs. It's gonna be the rare Boltbound Face Shadow line. We took that line game 1, I think, game 2. Not this game though, just kill the Murktide. How often does main deck graveyard hate come up? It comes up. It's really relevant. Like incidental main deck graveyard hate in Modern is usually great. This way pattern is so aggressive. Different Grixis not aggressively hurting yourself. Well, you do usually aggressively hurt yourself here. It's like it's a bit different in the Murktide matchup where who's the aggro and who's the not the aggro changes a lot. Okay, so probably escaping Kroxa this turn. Guess we're also playing a Shadow. How to improve this deck? I mean, I'm pretty happy with the main deck at the moment. I think the sideboard needs work. I think like Turok and or Veil of Summer to hedge more against the control decks is something I'm interested in. Where I felt like both times we played against control, I felt like we were a little light on options. But that's also something that happens a lot where I'll have like a really good day with the deck and then chat just immediately wants updates. But a lot of times I'll have a good day and I'm just kind of happy with the list for a little while. Not everything needs to be updated all the time. You play into the explosives? No, I don't. I play the Shadow, and the explosives on 2 doesn't do anything. Or, you know, they're dead on board. They have no outs. 4-1, 7-3 on the day with the stack. Yeah, I feel like I would really like to... this is a different list. I really like to change the sideboard a little bit. Add either Turok or Veil of Summer, maybe both. What I like about Turok is you can kind of bring it in against combo decks too. I might want to cut the Torpor Orbs for the Turoks, just start there, see how that feels. Ooh, okay, big chest, let's go. Gonna buy a third house now. Okay, I think that's the stream for today. Got a lot of stuff to do tonight. To be honest, it's kind of felt like the stream has been my break.